Welcome back to my Hidden Points. Imagine waking up one morning and realizing that you're doing the same work in the same place under the same pressure. Yet, something inside you has quietly snapped. You're still showing up, still doing the job, but a part of you has completely checked out. This is the mind of the quiet quitter. Now, before you jump to conclusions, psychologists say quiet quitting isn't about laziness or rebellion. It's a deep psychological defense mechanism built from exhaustion, emotional overload, and a slow, creeping burnout. It's what happens when the mind simply stops fighting, because fighting no longer feels worth it. Take Jason from Ohio. He used to be the first to volunteer and the last to leave. Everyone saw him as reliable and strong. Yet over time, the relentless pressure and constant expectations drained him until he felt invisible. So, he didn't quit his job. He quit his emotional investment. He started doing only what was required, and not a single thing more. Then there's Sarah from Florida. She worked so hard that her brain entered a state psychologists call learned depletion. This means the mind becomes so tired from giving and giving without getting anything back that it just shuts down the motivational circuits. Sarah wasn't angry at her job. She was empty. Quiet quitting became her way of protecting the last few pieces of energy she had left. Psychologists explain that this process starts long before the behavior becomes visible. Your brain keeps score. Every single time you feel undervalued, overextended, or unheard, your nervous system records that moment and stores it as emotional strain. The pressure builds and builds until one day your mind decides, enough. That's when the brain enters safety mode, cutting off all extra effort to protect itself from a deeper, more damaging burnout. This is why quiet quitting can feel strangely peaceful at first. The brain is relieved to finally stop pushing so hard. But over time, it becomes a powerful signal of emotional detachment and psychological withdrawal. It's a sign that you're pulling away from your own life. People who quietly quit often struggle with something called chronic role fatigue. This means their very identity gets tired from carrying responsibilities. Without any recognition or reward, the mind feels trapped between wanting the stability of the job and desperately wanting the freedom to escape. This internal conflict creates a feeling of mental stagnation, like you're stuck in mud. Another hidden psychological layer is what we call boundary collapse. People who overwork often have a deep fear of saying no. They fear disappointing others. They fear being seen as weak or not a team player. So, they push themselves until their brain is forced to create boundaries for them by simply shutting down their motivation. In this state, quiet quitting becomes the only boundary their tired mind can create. Psychologists also reveal that this behavior is tied to emotional dissonance. This is the exhausting feeling when your actions on the outside no longer match your feelings on the inside. You're smiling in meetings, but you feel hollow. You're typing emails, but your spirit is gone. This mismatch drains your mental energy and makes it incredibly hard for the brain to stay engaged. The quiet quitter stops trying, not because they don't care, but because caring has simply become too painful. The brain saves itself by disconnecting, and here's a hidden truth about our modern world. It encourages constant performance, constant productivity, and never-ending hustle. When people feel that their endless effort never leads to meaningful progress or recognition, the brain shifts into a state called protective disengagement. This is a pure survival state, where the mind reduces effort to avoid more emotional harm. The quiet quitter isn't weak. They are wounded. They are responding to a deep psychological imbalance between what they give and what they get. The comfort of doing the bare minimum becomes a temporary shelter from the storm of pressure and expectation. Yet, psychologists warn that staying in this state for too long can lead to a profound emotional numbness, a condition that makes life feel flat and joyless. All the colors drain away, and you're just going through the motions. Ultimately, quiet quitting is a sign. It's a message from your mind that it is craving restoration, balance, dignity, and respect. The solution isn't to just work harder or push through it. The solution is to understand why the brain shut down in the first place. The mind needs to feel safe. It needs recognition. It needs healthy boundaries to heal. And when that emotional system feels stable again, motivation slowly returns. It's a natural process because humans are wired for purpose and meaning, not for endless pressure and silent exhaustion. This is the real psychology of the quiet quitter. It reveals why people can stay in a job yet leave in spirit. It shows us why the mind withdraws long before the body ever does. And it teaches us a vital lesson. Understanding and respecting your limits is the very first step toward rebuilding your inner strength and finding your way back to a life of engagement and fulfillment. Thanks for watching. If this story resonated with you, hit that subscribe button for more insights into the hidden workings of the mind. See you next time.